Time to delve into some horror movies. Today, I'll be reviewing a found footage flick called Grave Encounters. I like the title already. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Grave Encounters was written and directed by the Vicious Brothers and released in 2011 by Tribeca Films. It was produced by Sean Angeleski. It had a budget of $2 million and managed to make nearly 3 times that in the box office. It stars Sean Rogerson, Ashley Grisco, Mackenzie Gray, Juan Redinger, and Merwin Mondansir. As you can guess from the title, it's a horror flick. With a shoestring budget, this can't possibly be good.
My name is Jerry Hartfield. I run a video production company here in Anaheim, California.
The film opens with an interview with Jerry, played by Ben Wilkinson. Jerry's the producer of the in-setting TV show called, wait for it, Grave Encounters. The show ran for 5 episodes, and during the production of the 6th episode, something went horribly wrong and the cast went missing. This is their presentation of the 70-plus hours of recorded footage taken during production. It's never revealed how they got the footage.
Yeah, I want to be very clear about this. What you're about to see is not a movie, okay? This has been assembled from some 76-plus hours of raw mini-DV source footage that was shot for Lance's show. Not a frame of this has been doctored. It hasn't been manipulated in any way. This is just raw footage that's been edited strictly for time.
The first thing you'll notice is the really awkward, shaky camera style. Now, I actually really like found footage when it's done right. Most movies that employ this tactic, however, tend to use it as an excuse just to shake the camera around like an asshole and zoom in and out at random.
Pick it up from there. I'm not going to do that beginning part again. Now,
Obviously, the crew hasn't heard of Steady Shot or invested in a shoulder rig. This is one of the most annoying gimmicks in the genre. Learn how to use a camera, people. Okay, this is active Steady Shot. And I have to actually really shake it around a lot to actually get it to do anything. See, you can hold a camera steady with just the strap. It is not that difficult. They take a tour of the supposedly haunted insane asylum, which was filmed in the real-life Riverview Hospital in British Columbia. They're all armed with night vision equipment, sound recorders, and other assorted devices used for tracking ghosts. It's clear that the show/movie is influenced by Ghost Adventures because Lance is a caricature of Zach Bagans, the star of that show. Lance interviews a few people who work to take care of the derelict asylum and bribes the resident gardener to make some random shit up to make the show look better.
Resident gardener Javier Ortega. Javier, have you ever seen anything strange in the past 10 years of working here?
Yeah, I saw a ghost over here. It was really scary.
A fake psychic shows up to give his half-assed opinion.
Our spirit is still with us.
Cut it. Yeah.
It's clear that the entire crew is jaded and cynical and only in it for the money. Night falls, and they begin setting up their night vision cameras for the long stay ahead of them. Their tech wizard Matt yaks about his fancy equipment, including all the crappy detecting devices like electromagnetic frequency meters, thermometers, and tape recorders. They use their tape-based voice recorders to search for electronic voice phenomenon. Why tape? Beats the hell out of me. Tape is noisy and has more static than digital, so that could be why. They believe that the recorder will capture noises that humans can't hear.
Sounds that the human ear cannot detect. So when we play it back, if we hear something, we'll know that something out there is trying to communicate with us.
For some reason, he also brought along a Geiger counter, which is only useful in detecting certain nuclear radiation. If this thing starts beeping, you're already in trouble.
Listen, I can guarantee you that if there is anything paranormal, anything freaky happening in this joint, we're gonna catch it.
Their tech guy explains that the voice recorders pick up sounds that the human ear can't detect. Bullshit! The simple recorders have an inferior frequency response to the human ear. The sound recorders simply can't detect sounds that are too low or too high in pitch. As I mentioned earlier, they have a lot of static and interference. They're just unreliable. In typical paranormal fashion, they're locked in for the night. Sure, it's a neat idea, but screw that. I wouldn't want to be trapped in some derelict building, haunted or not.
All right, everyone. If you're ready, it's time to have some grave encounters.
Is there somebody with us? Are you a patient here? Did you used to live in the hospital?
Way back.
Is there somebody with us? Are you a patient here?
You'd figure that if a ghost or spirit really wanted to talk to you, they'd fucking come out and say something. The team goes through the hospital again, meandering around with night vision cameras and taking random spirit photos.
I am going to use this still camera to try to capture paranormal anomalies. They're not usually seen by the human eye. It's better known as spirit photography. One more. We're gonna have to wait for the pictures to be developed. If there is a ghost behind me, we won't know until later.
A few hours into the hunt, all they discover are a few rats lurking in one of the rooms. Half an hour in, some strange interference begins and messes with the cameras. Granted, I would hate to be trapped in some abandoned asylum overnight. I don't really scare easily, but this place gives me the creeps. So I guess they've succeeded in that.
Creepy, creepy, creepy. Ooh. Checkers of the dead. King me.
For you. Tell Mom.
Did you see that wheelchair move? Maybe this place is haunted. Cameraman TC gets his next paranormal experience as the door closes in front of him. Please let him live. Or at least not the first one to die. If anything, kill the psychic.
I thought it was you guys at first, right?
You were taping it?
You taped?
Do you have it
I told
on
you that in the
tape?
first place. If you guys weren't so busy, like...
You friggin' have it on
You
your
got it on
tape.
tape?
Check that out.
Oh my god!
With the group all gathered together, the strange crap starts happening in droves. Strange wind, noises, and spinning wheels abound.
You guys are quiet. What if this is something real? I'm gonna do EVP.
Once occult expert Sasha gets her own experience, Lance finds himself trying to keep his group together as morale crumbles.
Guys, look! We have been shooting this show for what, 5 episodes? We have never seen anything like that before.
I'm really freaked out. I don't think I can do this.
Be a fucking professional, would you? All right, stay in character. We are onto something here. All right? Don't do this to me.
Yeah, you know, I think, honestly, I think it had its fun, it played its little prank, and it took off. Maybe that's all they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Lance snaps some more spirit pictures, and although he can't see it, imprints of the past can be seen on the film. With undeniable proof of the paranormal, Lance wisely calls it quits and gives the order to pack up and head out.
So what do you want me to pack up?
We're going home.
Yeah, can we pack everything up?
Yes.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, this is it.
Only one problem. They seem to keep getting lost in the darkened maze. The group eventually meets back together in the lobby, and they start tearing down static cameras. Everyone's properly freaked out now, and for good reason. If they know for certain that the place is haunted, why the hell would you split up and go gather equipment by yourself? I sure as hell wouldn't. No way, I wouldn't go back into the darkness. I would stay put.
Oh, fuck.
Matt discovers that the haunted window has opened itself, and tries to contact Lance after he closes it.
Hey, Lance, you there, man?
He hears a loud noise and goes to investigate, vanishing into the darkness. With only 45 minutes left before dawn, Lance and the others start searching for Matt, only to find his equipment scattered all over the place.
Be down one of these ways. TC, you go that way, Sash and I'll go this way.
Why would we do that? That is a terrible idea.
He's got to be here. He wouldn't just leave his
Why
stuff
would we
here, all
split
right?
up? That's
Sash,
a terrible...
come on.
Sasha makes an excellent point. Why the hell would you split up? Too bad no one listens to her. Never split the party. Never, ever split the party.
You better be dead or dying, bro. I ain't even playing with you right now. Where the fuck you at?
TC searches for Matt and gets injured when some unknown force shoves him down a flight of stairs. I swear, I've seen the same gimmick in every movie like this. Sasha and Lance help him make it back to the lobby.
I got pushed.
What?
Something fucking pushed me, man. I was looking for fucking Matt. I was looking downstairs, so the fucking wind pushed me. I almost broke my fucking neck, dude.
All attempts to contact the groundskeeper fail as something is blocking their cell phone reception.
What does it look like I'm doing?
TC tries to open the door by any means necessary and eventually breaks the chain.
What the hell? I don't understand this shit.
What they find is this.
It doesn't make any sense. This is the way we came in. It's just another hallway. I don't know.
We must have gotten turned around in here. Must be on the other side of the building or something.
That's right, they're trapped in Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never, ever leave. By this point, I would start looking for windows to break, but alas, they don't do that yet. Instead, they venture down the new corridor, only to find more hallways. The asylum, it seems, is actively fucking with them. They do find one window, but this one happens to be barred. And Sasha announces that it's past 8:30 in the morning, well after sunrise.
This doesn't make any sense. This is fucked up. I checked the sunrise times last night.
What's your fucking point?
The situation has gone from bad to really freaking bad.
It should have been bright by 7:45. It's still night out.
Some more jump cuts and camera shaking later, the crew returns to the lobby and bunks down for the day. I have a slight problem with this. If the asylum has the power to dilate time and physically change itself around, why has nobody else noticed this? More importantly, what's actually doing this? Are they in another dimension, or are they trapped in some bizarre time flux? They're all woken up 7 hours later by the destruction of their floodlights.
You gotta see this.
In that span of time, all the food has somehow become spoiled and completely infested with maggots. With a new plan in mind, the four head out, seeking the rooftop and a potential escape route. The asylum continues fucking with them by placing a solid wall directly in their path, keeping them trapped within. Screams catch their attention and they run off, assuming that it's Matt.
Oh, shit! Come this way!
He's not even
The asylum amps up the terror by levitating a hospital bed into the air and then slamming it into the ground. The only real problem I have with this is that the director decided to make the camera glitch out, likely to mask the seams between footage and CGI. I suppose it's just another way to show how royally fucked they are.
Look up and you guys gotta see this.
Turn the fucking camera.
They camp out again and discover that during their rest, some force carved letters into Sasha's back. How she didn't notice this until now is a mystery to me.
See? There.
They finally make contact with Matt over the radio, though briefly.
Matt, are you okay?
Lance has them head out in search of their lost comrade, taking them deeper into the asylum. I don't know, it seems to me that there's plenty of stuff that they could have used to break down the barred windows. I mean, the metal doors look heavy enough.
Listen, guys, this is fucking...
They catch a glimpse of what looks like Matt running across the hallway. He's dressed in a white hospital gown. They corner him, literally, in one of the rooms, but his back is turned to the others. Come on, really? I know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, even if I hadn't watched this movie before. They're going to approach Matt, he's going to make a spooky face, and they're going to scream. They've done this in every paranormal movie.
Get ready. Ready?
Get her!
Wait a minute, Matt doesn't have long hair. Who the fuck is that? Very much not Matt scares the ever-loving shit out of the heroes, and they flee for their lives. It gives chase, but they manage to evade it in the darkness. During this, however, Houston gets separated and summarily gets lost in the total darkness of the hallway. I'd be friggin' terrified too. The power of the asylum decides that it's not fucking around anymore and assaults the would-be psychic, throwing him into the air and killing him. Our first official death! It's only been an hour and 5 minutes, but we finally got our first kill. And damn, it feels good. After another bout of waiting and hiding, man, this kind of reminds me of Amnesia, in a good way. Sasha, Lance, and TC discover that they have somehow gained medical wristbands with their names on them. I wonder how many batteries they brought with them. I mean, they've been recording with power-hungry night vision cameras for over a day now. I mean, at some point the battery's gonna run out. It's worse than Cloverfield.
Don't worry about it.
An arm bursts through the door window, and they run like hell again.
Get the fuck out of here!
They come across real Matt this time, but of course they get nice and close to him. Fortunately, he's not a demon or possessed. In the relative safety of whatever room they're in, they take a breather and rest. Surprise! They wake up to the sounds of the moaning of the dead, and fucking hands are reaching down from the ceiling and walls. It's like the Master Hand on crack. These things look really, really unfriendly. I kinda like the effect. It's novel and, quite frankly, scary. They flee and hide in the lavatories. Remember that tub from earlier? It's now filled with delicious blood. For some reason, Matt decides to go stare at it like it's a giant vat of cherry pudding. When TC tries to get him away from it, a blood-covered woman reaches up and pulls him into it. Even more terrifying, when they dump the tub, they find nothing inside but blood. Lance finally gets the right idea and grabs a makeshift weapon. It would have been useful about 10 minutes ago, but hey, better late than never.
Kill the damn thing!
Lance flees and uses the pole to pry the elevator door open. For some insane reason, Lance then grabs the camera, leaves the pole behind, and then heads back out into the hallway. Naturally, the demon patient attacks and beats the shit out of him. Sasha goes to his aid and they fend the demon off. But while they're doing that, Matt leans out into the elevator shaft until he falls, plummeting to his death.
We're down to the final two heroes, Lance and Sasha. Will they escape the asylum? Well, by the rules of found footage movies, I highly doubt it. But hey, let's see how far they get. But you should know by now, modern horror movies never have happy endings.
Lance and Sasha make it back down to the tunnels, but their progress is hampered by the asylum constantly changing itself. They walk in one direction for an entire day, but alas, they only go in circles.
We should have hit the junction by now. It should have been right around here. What the fuck?
Sasha becomes violently ill, vomiting up blood. Even the timer on the camera has turned against them, giving them no clue as to how long they've been trapped. At some point during their rest, a thick mist rolls in, obscuring the camera's view. When it clears, we find that Sasha has vanished, leaving Lance alone in the tunnels. His batteries begin to fail, and demonic voices taunt him from the voice recorder. It's never explained what happened to Sasha.
I could only assume that the asylum has transported them to some alternate dimension. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Fuck you guys!
Lance's sanity breaks a few days later. Perhaps due to this, he finds a strange door that he hasn't seen before. It leads to the secret operating room of Dr. Arthur Friedkin, a vile doctor who performed horrific experiments on patients and practiced black magic. He even finds Dr. Friedkin's ritual altar, complete with a book of black magic and skulls.
This final phase is very typical of found footage movies. The remaining protagonists can only see with night vision, and the final room is markedly different than everything else they've experienced. It's as if they've walked into some alternate plane of reality. It's not necessarily a bad thing, and can be quite riveting if done right. Grave Encounters partially succeeds.
Lance comes across something quite unusual. A pair of nurses and a doctor performing a lobotomy on a patient. It's all over once he accidentally trips over the skull, and the demonic medical doctor attacks him. Our final image is of Lance, with the fresh wound of a frontal lobotomy.
Grave Encounters. Lance Preston. Signing off.
One thing that bugs me, though, is how they do the demonic face effect. I mean, look at it. The camera has to remain on the actor for a good second or two before the face changes.
So, we're done. Was it as bad as I thought it was going to be? Well, you know, it wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. Sure, it had some rough spots, and the plot was questionable at best, but for $2 million, it's decent. It's formulaic and by the books and allows a genre-savvy viewer to easily guess the next jump scare. The characters are rough and uninspired, though. I can't really say that I connected with or really cared about any of them. While they weren't particularly annoying or abrasive, they were just bland. I don't know, could have been worse. Ultimately, Grave Encounters is a standard paranormal investigation movie that takes a group of hucksters and pits them against actual paranormal events. It's the same idea as Ghost Adventures, Ghost Lab, Ghost Hunters, and many, many more. Some questions remain, however. How did the footage get back to the producer? Furthermore, why did he not go to the police to have them investigate? Instead, he just edits up the footage into a movie and then sells it. It's a bit hard to believe. Not all is lost, however, as there's a sequel that was made in 2012, aptly named Grave Encounters 2. I'll get to it some other time. If you like found footage movies, you might want to give Grave Encounters a watch on Netflix. But if shaky camera footage makes you nauseous, you might just want to skip this one.
Checkers of the Dead. King me